Coach, what do you think about Jovic's development, and what have you seen maybe in practice or maybe just what you've seen from the players in terms of their trust in him to put him out on the court for so long?
Yeah, it's been well earned, and it's been incremental progress going all the way back to summer league. Preparing in June, did the summer league, and then went right to the World Cup. He had great experience there, earned a starting spot, and then really worked on his player development here. And he's just made a lot of progress, and his confidence is growing. As you can see, he adds a different dimension, to our team in terms of skill and size. So we'll just continue to build on that.
Their shooting percentage never really dipped very much. They started hot, stayed hot. Because of them and their good young talent, because of what you didn't do or couldn't do?
Look, the first thing is that's a very good basketball team. They're high level talent. Alexander obviously puts a lot of pressure on you to have to get a lot of things right, and then there other younger players have really been developing. Williams obviously has taken a big step forward, and Holmgren really changed a lot of things for us at the rim. It felt like we had some advantages, and he really protected the rim extremely well. So you do have to credit them, and they're very well coached as well. They're organized. They play to their strengths on both ends of the court. So where they are in the standings and in the league as the third best team in the league is not an accident. So you have to do a lot of things with great effort, but also system discipline, and that's where we made a lot of mistakes system-wise tonight. That's what really good teams can do to you, and I thought this was a really good, important game for us from that standpoint. Offensively, I thought in the first half we did a lot of things really well. Really were attacking, moving the ball, playing to our strengths, and had them on their heels. And then I just wish it could have kept on going. I wish we didn't have halftime. We started out sluggish offensively to start the third. And that just shifted the momentum just slightly. We gained it back, toward the end of the third quarter, but there was a momentum shift at that point, and then that's where our mental mistakes defensively really started to kick in, and that's where we're going to get better, is to be able to defend whether we're making shots or not. We're going to get there. We're not there yet, and historically Miami teams always can do that. Right now, it's kind of dependent whether we're playing great offensively, whether we're making shots, whether we're playing the right rhythm and flow. Then we'll defend it at a really high level. I'm really looking forward to the game that we can win. I'm not breathing it into existence, but I want to, see us win a game when it's in the mud, where it's a little bit frustrating offensively, even if we're trying to do the right things intentionally offensively. But where the ball's not going in, that we can defend at an extremely high level that we're capable of doing.
Obviously, Tyler can and has made bad shots. He can make all kinds of shots. You come out of a timeout, 6-point game. He gets the ball, puts up that three-pointer. Your thoughts on that attempt by him? Was it what the design was or the thought was of going to the three? And sort of when a player takes a shot like that, you just accepted that he's a guy who can make those kind of shots?
Yeah. Of all the things offensively, look, at that point, we're trying to come back from a 15-point lead. I've seen him make a ton of those shots, and I don't remember the exact sequence, but there's a couple actions and a dribble handoff, and that I think is a play right in our wheelhouse. And that's a makeable shot, and he makes that. All of a sudden, that can change now. A 3-point game, it can change the mental aspect, of OKC potentially. I was more disappointed, at the start of the third, and then, some pockets of the fourth quarter. I think we got it back, playing with a little bit more intention offensively. But the start of the third quarter, I think just started the dominoes going in the wrong direction.
You said SJ puts a lot of pressure on defense. It seemed like Haywood at times was doing a good job on him, and then you look up and he has 20-something points. How do you feel like you guys defended him tonight?
Well, he's a tough cover because he's one of those guys that regardless of how many shots or how many opportunities he gets, he's going to get his average at some point. The ball's going to keep on going to him. So you have to try to be extremely disciplined and take away relief baskets in all the other areas and then make it tough on him. We didn't take away the relief baskets throughout the course of the game on anyone else, whether it was transition cuts, glitches that led to wide open shots. Those are far more costly because he's going to get to his spots. He's got tremendous footwork. For a perimeter player, it's at such an elite level that you have to have incredible discipline, focus to be able to play all the way through his shot fakes, step throughs, pivots, all of that. But I wanted to see the system discipline in all the other areas that we didn't show tonight, and I think some of that was, because of actually. Third quarter is because of our offense. In the first half, it was just because we just weren't doing it the way we could have.
You forced a couple turnovers late with the press, but for the most part, the turnover rate in terms of the ones you forced is declining over the course of the game. Is that just the pace of play, or are you actually seeing like deflections, activity, that sort of thing decline?
Yeah, it depends. Like, tonight you're not going to force a ton of turnovers when the ball is in a very efficient player's hands, and the spacing is very good. Our turnovers forced and disruptiveness, a lot of that at the beginning of the year is when we had a lot of our disruptive defenders out there, and I'm not making an excuse for other guys. I want to see system discipline first, and then when we get some guys back, we have that 10x ability to be really disruptive within that discipline.
Rough night for Duncan. It seems like they were putting a lot of pressure on him and we're denying him the ball from the perimeter, challenging him on the shot. Did you see anything in how they defended him and keeping him away from the paint and being able to be a little bit more versatile in his offense?
They're good defense. They're very disruptive. They have the 7th ranked defense, but at times this year they've been top 5. And that's okay. Some nights, the ball's not always going to find you in perfect flow. In the first half, we were putting up a ton of points. We didn't stay with it enough where we were really putting paint pressure and then moving the ball and getting them on their heels. He benefits from that probably more than anybody, is that overall team flow offensively.
Just curious about the new look starting lineup, just the decision behind kind of going with another look here, and what did you like about it tonight?
Yeah, it was a lot to like at the beginning of the game. We're jumped out to an early lead, but offensively, I didn't have many complaints offensively in that first half. That's why, when we went into halftime, I was assuming that it was going to continue that kind of flow and playmaking and accessing all the parts of our menu, and it just stalled out, for whatever reason. We've had a lot of different starting lineups, so I'm trying to keep as much consistency as possible, and that was the thought process behind that. Okay, thank you.
Locker was open. Tyler,